want to leverage best practices? Do you want to become more predictable with less risk? Do you want to deliver more value for Philips? This short video will explain why and how the combination of the output-based contract and Agile is helping Philips to maximize the value creation. The essence of the output-based contract is that Philips pays per results. By focusing on achieving results and managing the risks, the IT suppliers behave as a joint investor and partner with Philips, rather than as a typical vendor. That is why we call them IT partners. Let's compare the contracting models on value versus time. In the traditional waterfall time and material projects, first, upfront costs are substantial and paid before any value is received. Big risk for our business. Second, many contracts may not even break even. Research has shown that statistically, over 60% of projects in the IT do not meet the expected result or are even canceled. At the end, waterfall time material projects have a high probability of not achieving benefits. I hope you agree with me that this doesn't look good. Now let's take a look at traditional waterfall output-based projects. Less cash paid up front, as the contract ties compensation to output achieved. There is a faster delivery of benefits because of the result-driven focus, which means the break-even point is reached earlier. Finally, there is a high probability of achieving benefits because of contractual commitments and tying compensation to goals. Combining the output-based contracting with the Agile way of working, we achieve highest return of investment at initial phases, since we build the most valuable features at the beginning, and higher value delivered compared to traditional output-based projects because of the continuous feedback and adaptation to business needs. Agile gives us the potential to maximize the return of our investments. The output-based enables us to minimize the risk of incurring costs that do not result in true business value by bringing certainty on the costs Philips will bear and commitment from IT partners to achieve the results. How close we get to the optimal curve is our challenge up front. While we achieve this maturity, the output-based contract gives us the certainty that we will be moving somewhere in this space. Agile and output-based, a powerful combination. Let's take a look at how exactly things work. Everything starts with a release planning meeting. Around the table is the whole program team. The product owner, who represents the customer. The development team, which is stable and multidisciplinary under the accountability of the IT partner. Business stakeholders and other stakeholders, like delivery manager, release manager, and so on. The product owner presents the vision and top priority items. The development team asks questions to understand those items. Together, business and the IT team break the items into more concrete features. The team brainstorms to assess the implementation effort for those features in story points. Story points are relative estimations that represent the difficulty to implement a fully functional and tested feature. Since story points are subjective measurements, the team uses previous estimations as reference. They are collected in the so-called wall of reference. This helps to establish trust and transparency towards story points allocation. Initially, the estimation won't be accurate, but will become better and better if the team remains stable. A stable team is 60% more productive in the long run than a team often assembled and dismantled around projects. Based on its velocity, the team decides on what to commit to for the coming release and agrees with the product owner on which features will be in the next release. Remember, no one benefits from a long-winded procurement process that involves time-consuming negotiations regarding the exact details of requirements. The final contractual agreement between Philips and the IT partner includes the commitment of the partners to achieve the release objectives. The meeting ends with the confidence and commitment from the entire program to these objectives. Immediately after, the work starts. The product owner keeps in mind the vision for the upcoming release. The commitment made during the release planning gives the direction, but it is not written in stone. The product owner will make the best use of the number of story points committed to by the team during the planning. The features agreed during the release planning are the initial input of the product backlog. The items with the highest value are in the top priority of the backlog and will be part of the first sprint. During the sprint planning, the stories are detailed and re-estimated by the team if new insights emerge. The team always uses the wall of reference. Most of the time, the original estimations are correct because the team has been together for some time and has become very accurate with the estimations. In any case, the product owner is always involved and aware of the changes. There is trust and transparency between her and the team. The team starts working on the commitments of the sprint. At the end of every sprint, the team delivers an average amount of story points of fully integrated functionality. In our example, the average velocity of the team is 25 story points. This is the demo to the stakeholders, who learn more about what is needed and what is possible. The stakeholders give feedback to the product owner and the team. The product owner might have to say no for some wishes of the stakeholders and even balance conflicting objectives, or even decide what goes in the product and what does not. The same process happens at every sprint. Sometimes the product owner and team will deviate from the original plan so the team can build exactly what the customer needs to seize competitive opportunities as they arise. The product owner looks often at the release burn-down chart. This shows how quickly the team burns the story points agreed to during the release planning. This information will make the reality of the release goal clear and give early warnings if things are not going according to plan. Finally, some tips on how we can achieve the maximum value creation. Let's take an example. This is your program, ready to go. Focus on partner collaboration and trust instead of processes and contractual agreements to pull up your value creation. Be cautious with overloaded teams with tight deadlines, as it weakens your value creation. Keep your teams stable to achieve gradually a sustainable high productivity. Pull up the value by defining a minimum valuable product and validating assumptions through the implementation instead of detailing all the requirements up front. This minimum viable product keeps the focus on what is truly needed. But be aware that you are able to deliver the minimum viable product within approximately 80% of the estimated story points of what a team can commit to. Otherwise, we are back to fix our scope, and that is not what we want. Do not rigidly stick to predefined requirements, regardless of the value, as you will go down again. Use the short iteration to make adjustments based on continuous customer input along the way. Give attention to technical excellence, build quality and reliability, and you will pull the value notably up. Do not aim to increase output at the cost of a huge technical debt. Remember, the output-based contract is a part of the process, but it should not be more important than working with our partner on the best way to work things out. In the end, we all want to be successful.